Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, passionate lovers of StarCraft, those who make sweet, sweet love to StarCraft and then do not call it in the morning. My name is Dr. Spurs, Brandon Emerson, and I will bring you the second game of the night. Well, for me, I'm sure you can watch this at any point in time, but it will be between WIU's own Kinetic, the red Terran in the bottom right-hand corner, and WGS's blue Zerg, representing the latter. And I received this replay via email and a short little description that says, hey, you should cast this because there's some cool new play. And I love to see cool new play, so I figured I'd check it out. And I'd have you guys check it out with me, so we can all see this really cool play, maybe learn a few things, have a few laughs, maybe cry a little. We do have, kind of like, it's like as cross-spawn as you can get. On Shakura's Plateau, there are two watchtowers here in the middle that can see everything that passes through this middle. You cannot spawn above or below your opponent. So when Kinetic sends out the scout, he will not scout this base, just as the Zerg is not scouting the base to his south, because both players know that you cannot spawn there. And all of the ground movement must come through this middle ground. We do have a drone properly scouting the first time. Props to WGS, which I really feel like is just, it's like a stone throws away from WGN, like the TV. But it is not, and he will be picking on this poor, lonely SCV as he builds the barracks. The SCV is really just trying to provide for his family, you know, build this barracks because it's his job at minimum wage, you know. He doesn't complain. He works 9 to 5. You know, minimum wage, and this drone comes by and just starts beating the crap out of him. That's not fair. That's not nice either. God, drones need to learn a lesson in empathy. But we have no gas out of Kinetic, the Terran player. So I am thinking we're going to be seeing a very quick command center out of him, which would be a little unlikely, because every time I have tried to go command center first, and we do indeed see the command center going down, every time I've tried this, the Zerg just they just kind of stop, like, making drones for this expansion here, the 14, very standard hatch, and once this pool pops, they just streamlings nonstop into this natural, and it just, I don't know what, I'm probably doing something wrong, because I am a scrub nub, but it always destroys me. So I am very excited to see how Kinetic plays this out, how he makes sure that there won't be a stream of Zerglings, and he's already taking steps to help prevent that by choking the front with these barracks. So, very intelligent move there by Kinetic to try to slow the attack. The natural has just now finished for WGS, and he will be transferring drones here soon. We might be seeing some speedlings as soon as he hits 100 gas. That would be incredibly standard, but we have a third barracks going down to finish the wall off. This is a very, very tough, rugged wall. This will not fall to banelings easily, unless there's just a stupid, stupid number of banelings. So he is safe for now. He can safely take this expo. So I am I'm also excited to see how the Zerg responds, what kind of tech choices the Zerg makes to try to counter this super fast expo. Some Zerg players just grab an early third right here, but I don't like it. Every time I've seen a Zerg grab a super early third, almost a super thoroughly erd, every time I've seen a Zerg grab a super early third, it's never worked out for them. They always over-drone for it, and their army is small, and when that 2-base timing push rolls around, they just don't have the goods, man. They're like a bad dealer. They just don't have the goods. And this Zergling will be scouting 3 racks. I wonder what would go through the Zerg's mind as he sees these 3 racks. Of course, he thinks, yes, a lot of Marines, maybe some Marauders. I doubt he would get Marauders, but he will be putting these back onto gas, so I am almost 100% positive we will be seeing Banelings here as soon as he can afford the gas for it. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I probably am. Kinetic has picked up both of the gases in his main, and we do see a supply depot. Ooh, very exciting. The one Zergling is going to be watching this watchtower, and this Zergling will be watching for the third, I assume. So WGS doing a great job of keeping eyes on the map, wondering just where Kinetic's going to be at all times. We do see the metabolic boost is finishing at the 6 minute and 30 seconds mark, so Nothing out of the ordinary. We do see a lot of Marines here. And instead of the Baneling call that I so confidently made, we do see a layer instead, so we might be seeing Mutas. He is, in fact, going for the slower, not immediate third, but he is picking up his third relatively quickly compared to, like, a 2-base macro style. So, I don't know if he'll be ready for this. Oh, there's the Baneling nest. So I wasn't a complete fool. He just wanted to get the layer started on time. And this Overlord will sack itself to see everything that is going on. We do see the the Overlord does not. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and check. He does see a factory with a reactor and a starport right next to it, so he can assume Vikings and or medevacs. Most likely medevacs, especially since there is just a huge amount. Ooh, that's a plot block. Ooh. But he does see that there are a lot of Marines here. Stim is now almost finished, but we will. There should be a lot of medevacs coming out of that reactor and starport very quickly, and the Zerg is going to be in Drop City really shortly here. The train is leaving the station for Drop City. I can't make a good train sound effect, otherwise I'd be like, ooh. That was more like a boat. That was awful. That was like a ferry. And we do see the 4th going down for WgS. This 3rd isn't even saturated. I'm sure he has not had any plans for it at all, and yet he's already picking up his 4th, so he is definitely going for a super expo hungry, just grabbing as many expos as he can. I don't know if he has to sense impending doom, because when he sacked that Overlord, there was just a lot of Marines. He will be sacking this Ling here in a second to see what he can see, but there are 2 medevacs loading up full of Marines, so this Zergling will not see it coming at all, and the 16 Marines will be dropping the 4th. It looks like they will reach first, while a contingency of Marines are moving out on the main path. There are some Banelings morphing I did here up in the natural, right next to the spine crawler, and there is a choking Evo chamber here, just in case there might be some Hellions, or if just, shit hits the fan, you just get stuff in the way. But we do have that is enough Banelings to kill all of these Marines and their families. And their extended families. That is just a lot of Banelings. And the drop will deny. Look at that line of Marines. That's obnoxious. Like, some of these Marines over here don't even know what to do. They're just like, we just got dropped off here in the middle of nowhere. But the 4th will be completely denied on this end. And Kinetic moving into the 3rd. And a wise choice by WgS to not waste Banelings while he has that surround. So he did clean up all of those Marines with few Zergling losses. There are 6 Mutalisks on the way, which could spell trouble for this double drop here, so I'm really excited to see what happens to that. Oh my gosh, that is... You can't even see that! That is imba as all can be. You can't even see those units. That is so broken. But there are Mutalisks on the field now, so as soon as they see these drops, they will be easy targets, and the Mutalisks are already taking a almost paranoid stance over here by the main, just to make sure there are no drops in the main, and there are Zerglings and Banelings here, because the last time WgS did see this drop, it was on the way, and we do see the drop in the main coming at a different angle, so it will be a 2-pronged attack, and even a group of Marines and tanks with siege moving up into the main. So Kinetic will be, or not into the main, just on the ground, but Kinetic will be dropping and stimming Marines in the main and the natural, but the natural will be shut down immediately as the Lings were already there, and there is this one spine crawler to deal with it. So he might run out of Lings, so that might actually spell some damage. The Mutalisks did arrive in the main to deal with that drop, but the spine crawler was cleaned up. The Banelings with speed are on their way, but there will be a lot of drones dying here, and the 3rd is being sieged this whole time. The Mutalisks did clean up a singular tank, and the Banelings exploding on a couple of the Marines. Oh my gosh, that was so perfect for WgS. Like, I saw the tank shot go down and kill a lot of the Banelings. But not enough. There was that one Baneling who was like, oh yeah, I love bowling, and he just shows up, gets striking all the Marines. But this drop over here, despite the spine crawler being there, has just done a lot of damage. The Mutalisks are here to finally clean it up, but it did shut down mining in this base, and 28 workers have been slain by Kinetic, so that will put him behind 5 workers. So despite the huge worker casualties, He still is slightly behind, but he will force more drones out of the larva, which is a win in my book, because less larva committed to an army, the better. There are a lot of mutas on the field now, so these drops really have to be careful. As you did see, they did get cleaned up one at a time by the mutas, just because the mutas just kind of rolled over all of those individual little groups. But WgS kind of licking his wounds here, and he will be sending out these mutas to get a little bit more map control, just to see what's going on. He still has control of these middle watchtowers. Kinetic has not picked up a third yet, and I don't know if he plans to. Nope, there it is. Never mind, completely disregard exactly what I just said, and the drop will be immediately denied, and all of these units will be lost, but there is a reinforcing army of Stim Marines, and they will pick off 2 Mutalisks in exchange for that drop, so an almost even trade on both sides, and the Mutalisks did have to back out. And the supply count is relatively even. Kinetic is 10 supply down, but he does have this third, and he's running still 5 barracks, 2 factory, and a Stark with 6 barracks, in fact, so he's pumping out the Marines like it is candy on Halloween. But WgS has an intimidating number of Banelings with roly-poly upgrades, so they do have the speed. These mutas just kind of scoping around. I'm sure WgS is looking for the third timing, and indeed he will see it with that watchtower. And turrets are going down to try to prevent any kind of harass. There are missile turrets in the main, and there is a drop, and it might go ahead and just re-deny this already once denied 4th, and the army is moving around in the main. It will get a creep tumor, so, and these Mutalisks have reached critical mass. They have prevented that missile turret from going down. They are scared of 2, though, despite being critical mass, and Kinetic just making sure he gets the auto repair on that turret, and oh my gosh, these mutas might fly right over the Stim Marines, and that will spell disaster if Kinetic noticed and stimmed. But never mind, the mutas are turning around, and no, that was really anticlimactic on both ends. I was really hoping somebody. Oh my gosh, all these mutas are getting so close to the Marines. Oh, it's so intense, and the Zerglings will stream in one at a time, least important to most important, and completely gib in their entirety, and the Mutalisks will go down, the tanks will focus down the Banelings, and poor control here by WgS, and he will go ahead and swear fucking joke, and the counter BM owned out of Kinetic. Wow, the drop did successfully deny the 4th again. That was really close. Like, those mutas, they got so close. Like, 1 stim, and he could have gotten like 3 or 4 free mutas, and like 1 misstep, and those mutas just could have gotten fried. But what did it, ladies and gentlemen, was the single file line that we saw at the end here. We did see all of the Zerglings just kind of stream in, just kind of throw caution into the wind to a huge ball of Marines. And the Banelings were too short to the party, or too late to the party, not too short. If the Lings had like surrounded, or maybe like come in from this angle and tanked some shots for the Banelings, and if the Banelings would have made it to these Marines, this could have been cleaned up very easily. The Zerg player definitely had a lot of money, 2,000 minerals and 600 gas in the bank, so he definitely could have at least had a lot of Lings ready to go. So I don't know what he was whining about. He did have 1 attack upgrades for the Mutalisks and no upgrades for Kinetic. But that game was super drop heavy. We did see a lot of drops here in the 3rd. So good on Kinetic to really put the pressure on a lot of places. This was very dangerous. If the Banelings were controlled a little better, this might have been shut down, but I think he'd have been okay. He did have this 3rd up and running, fully saturated, so I think Kinetic was in a fantastic position, even if he did lose this army. And that is that for the game. We even got to see a little bit of rage. It was a good game. A lot of pressure on the Zerg, which is kind of what you have to do. Gotta put pressure on the Zerg, always and forever. But that is that for me tonight. It is almost 2 in the morning. I'm very tired. I need to get some sleep. I only casted these games because I said I would. I committed. Can't back down from a commitment, so that is all. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check for updates as often as possible. I try to get at least 1 or 2 games up every day. Every day. And hopefully they're as interesting for you to watch as they are for me. I do enjoy some of the crazier games. So if you have a game and it's pretty crazy, you should just email it to me somehow. Just be like, hey, here's your replay. I can get you that email address if you would like it, but that is all I have for now. Oh, I'm getting a new computer.